this is Michelle with Creative Operation, and I'm here today to share with you my design team project for Country Craft Creations. And what we're going to make today is a folio, which is going to be really super cute. These papers are Cardabella, they're Hello Autumn, and they are absolutely stunning. I love the colors. I just love it. Just so pretty, so pretty. So I've created a folio that I think you're going to like. So we're going to go ahead and just get started. I'm going to do some of the papering on camera, and some of it I won't. There's a couple places where I really want to show you to make sure that we, get it all on the same page here as far, pun intended, as far as what to do first. But, and there's a couple pieces that need to go paper first, but I just wanted to show you this. We're going to go ahead and get started with the cover. This is going to be a real nice, simple folio. So the first thing you're going to need are 2 pieces of Artisan cardstock. I'm using Ivory here, again from Country Craft Creations. They're 8.5 by 9. So just to let you know, this is the second time I've tried to cut this out. We're going to do it the correct way this time. So you're going to put your papers, both of them, in your scoreboard, and you're going to have your 9 at the top. This album is 8.5 inches tall. Okay, so put it at the 9-inch on the top and score it at 1.5. And you're going to do that for both of your pieces. Okay, so 9-inch at the top, score at 1.5. And we're going to get rid of this and fold. We're not going to miter anything. We're just going to fold and burnish both pieces. And we're going to glue them together. These 1.5-inch pieces are going to be the spine, and we're just simply going to glue them onto each other. And the Artisan cardstock is nice and heavyweight. It's like 87 pound. And once you get your pattern paper on here, especially the Cardabella pattern paper, it seems like it's the thickest out there. And it has a really nice, beautiful texture to it too. So it's going to be, this is going to be nice and sturdy. All right, so we're just going to glue that together like that. Okay, it's all good. So then on the outside, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our pattern paper on, but we need to put our closure pieces on, or our closure seam binding on first. So let me see here. I am going to do 2 pieces here, and they're roughly about 1 foot long. We're going to have a double bow on this one. Okay, and what we're going to do is on the front page, we're not going to actually put it on quite yet. We're going to do it on the back page first. So I have my pattern paper cut, and it's an 1/8 inch shorter than 8.5, so it's cut at 8 3/8 and by 6, and then I can use 1 piece of this paper to put it on. So we're going to put on the back, we're going to do it, but first we have to put our closure. Okay, so I'm going to grab my score tape, and I'm going to center my piece on my score pal pad here. I just want a rough estimate of where the middle is for the score tape, and then I'll be a little more precise when I get my seam binding on. So let me see here. Yeah. All right, I'm going to put that down. Then we'll put another piece of score tape over top, and I'm going to layer this beautiful, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's this really beautiful kind of rust color. It's just gorgeous. All right, and then another piece of score tape just to help secure it. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my glue on. I am not doing the inking of the edges on this paper because I'm using my Ivory cardstock. If I was using a darker color, I might, but I just don't really want to do it when everything is so light. And then the other thing too is that I tend to get a little messy, and then I get ink where I don't want it. And with the light colors of my Artisan cardstock that I'm using, I just really don't want to mess this up. So, all right. So Now, as always, and I'll say this right now, I do have the cutting guide on my blog, and you'll find that there is there's a link below so that you can go to my blog and get the visual cutting guide. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our edges on. Okay, so I cut these edges. They're going to kind of give a wraparound spine feel to it. We're going to hold on this one, but we can go ahead and do the back page one here, and then we have one for the spine. Excuse me. They're cut at 8 3/8, again, tall. The spine piece is 1 3/8. That's 1/8 of an inch shy of 1.5 inches. Okay, so that'll cover the spine just beautifully, like that. Okay, and then this piece here is cut at 2 inches wide. So that'll cover that white space there. And it's going to give that really nice look of a wraparound spine. Okay, so get that glued on. Then we're going to work on our cover. Now our cover, we're going to actually, the front cover, we're going to actually just put the pattern paper down now because, whoops, that moved and I didn't want it to. The seam binding is actually going to go under the cover element so that the bow kind of wraps around the front, and I'll show you that in a second. So we're going to go ahead and lay this down on the front cover, making sure that we have our pattern paper the right direction because we don't want to mess that up. Okay. There we go. And I'll have to tell you that I did kind of mess up the first part, so I'm redoing this because I wanted to make sure I didn't mess you guys up. So there you go. So we're going to lay that down there, this piece right here. Okay, like that. All right, just like that. Okay, so now we've got our covers on. So this is how you should have it looking right now. So you've got your front cover on, our spine, and then the back cover, and you have your seam binding coming out the back. That's what you want, okay? So now what we're gonna do is grab our, what I'm calling my cover element, which is basically a 4x4 cut apart. They have some beautiful cut aparts in this collection. And then I got a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece of brown cardstock. So I am using one piece of brown cardstock for this project. And we're going to layer that down and just glue it down. Ah, aren't these colors beautiful? I just love this whole collection. It is just so gorgeous. And fall is my favorite time of year, so I'm just digging this. I just wish the COVID wasn't here because it's really, really putting a damper on all of my outdoor and fun activities that I like to do during this time of year. We have a lot of cool Halloween things that go on in our town, and it's really kind of wrecked it. Okay, so this is going to go right in the middle of our book. We're going to put our seam binding on right in the middle of here. So we're going to put it on this one side here. So I'm just going to set this down. I'm going to center it, and I'm going to layer the seam binding just like I did before. Okay, grab our two pieces like that, a little more tape. And then I have some, flowers and things that I'm going to decorate this with picked out. I'm not going to do that on camera. You guys have already seen it in the walkthrough video, so we should be good to go with that. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're going to add some glue. Okay, we're going to take this guy and we're going to glue it right in the middle of this, and I'm going to kind of pull it towards me so I can see it a little bit easier right now. And I'm going to just kind of eyeball this a little bit. Kind of use my guides on the side to help me eyeball it. I guess that's cheating, huh? Let's see here. Right about, let's say right about, yay. That looks pretty good. Okay. There we go. So then I will decorate this later. But now what we have is our closure is on and our title piece, our element, is on. And then when we close our album, the seam binding will wrap around the front and create this really pretty fluffy bow, which will also help decorate the front, like so. Okay, so that's going to be really super cute. All right, so that's the cover. I'm going to go ahead and undo this real quick, and then we're going to work on our base page. So the next thing we're going to do is our base page. And our base page, there's only one base page, so that is accurate if you're looking at the cutting guide and going, how come there's only one? There is only one. The base page is going to be cut at 12 by 11, so just take an inch off one of the sides. And we're going to do some scoring here. So put it at where the 11 is at the top and the 12 is on the side, and we're going to score in a couple places. So we're going to first score at a 1/2 inch and then at 7.5. Okay, so on the 11 at the top, 1/2 inch and 7.5. And then we're going to turn. Doesn't really matter which way. So you turn, so the 12's at the top, and we're going to score, actually it does matter, excuse me. So you're going to have it like this. Okay, let's start over again. So put your paper in with the 11 at the top, and we're going to score at 1/2 and 7.5. Okay, then what we're going to do after you score at 1/2 and 7.5 is we're going to turn it so that little 1/2 inch tab is at the bottom, and then you're going to score again at 1/2 inch, and then we're going to score at 8.5. All right, then what we're going to do is, if you notice, if you don't move your paper right now, you've got this big square here. So what you're going to do is going to go ahead at 9, and you're going to score down to roughly a 1/2 inch from this score line here that we made on the 11-inch side. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it one more time, and then I'm going to, at the 3-inch mark, I'm going to score down just a 1/2 inch before that score line. So basically what you're making is kind of an L shape here, and you have this square right here. We're going to cut that piece out. But this is going to help you make tabs, because these narrow pieces down here and up here are going to be pockets. So what we're going to do, if I don't stab myself, is first thing we're going to do is cut this corner out. So this is the square we just created. We're going to just cut that square out. Okay, so if you look at your paper, 11 inch at the top, 12 inch here, this corner right here we just cut out. Now we have this 1/2 inch L-shaped kind of thing here. We're going to take it from corner to corner here, and we're just going to cut just to the score line, okay? And then miter the corners. This is going to give you tabs for making your pocket, okay? So you should have a piece that looks like this, and you should have a diagonal cut right there, okay? So then working at the top, we're going to make a diagonal, or, you know, a mitered corner there, and we're going to make one here, okay? And then we're going to cut this top 1/2 inch score completely out. And cut it straight. Do not miter this 1/2 inch piece here. This is going to be the page. This is going to attach to our spine, okay? So then again, we're going to turn this over, and I'm going to cut straight at this score to the 1/2 inch mark, and then I'm going to miter and miter. Okay, so you should have a piece that looks like this. Okay, and again, you're going to have a diagonal score here, and you're going to have a tab at the top. All right, so let's get rid of this, and we will fold this and create our pockets. It doesn't really, well, no, I take that back. So let's just fold and burnish all of our things. So this side pocket here is going to fold to the back of our page, like that. And then this front piece, this bottom one here, is going to fold up to the front of the page. Just like that. Okay. Make sure we burnish that down really good. And then you're going to have your 1/2" tab here. We're going to fold that down. I'm just going to put that pocket down for a minute. That's going to be what binds it to our book. Okay. So what you're going to have is you're going to have the tab that's going to their tab is going to bind it to the book. You're going to have a horizontal pocket here, and then when we flip the page, we're going to have a vertical pocket right here. Okay, so we can go ahead and glue those down and make our pockets. Pattern paper will slide under here just fine, so we can cover this with pattern paper later. We can get the, the base construction done now. Okay, then we'll turn it over, do the same thing. We'll glue our vertical pocket. Just like that. Okay, I love making these pages where you kind of have to fold and configure them. It's one of my favorite things to try and figure out. I don't know why. I just think it's kind of cool when you take one piece of paper and do a few cuts and a few scores, then you get different things with it. So I like that. So this base page is done. Okay, so we have our base page done. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it inside our book right now, so that it's easier to do it now than, after we put all of the pieces on, because we're going to add a bunch of stuff to both sides of this. And it's easier to kind of put it in our book now. So we're going to grab a pencil, and we're going to grab our ruler. And this is going to be, you're only going to have the one page element, because like I said, we're going to add stuff onto it. So what you're going to do is put your centering ruler on here, and draw a line right down the middle, and that will be at like 3/4 right down the middle, just a light pencil line. And that's going to help us glue our page down like so. Okay, and there will be a 1/4 inch above and below. And then I'll show you how we're going to paper that, because you're probably thinking, how are you going to do that and cover that tab up? All right, so I'm just going to go to that line, and I'm going to center that, making sure that's kind of in the middle there. There we go. And glue that down. Okay, so then our page is adhered. Okay, so then I took two of the paper strips, and I'm going to put that on either side, okay, and glue them down just like so. That's going to cover up that tab, and it's also going to put paper on our spine, so that's going to look really nice and pretty. And these measure 8 3/8. Let me make sure. 8 3/8 by, and you're going to love this, so a 1/16 of an inch shorter than 3/4. Okay, so 3/4 would be, let's see, that would be 12, right? 12/16. So you're gonna do it at like 11/16. Okay, so just if you want to make it easier, just cut it at 3/4 and then just take a sliver off, and then it should be fine. Okay, so then I'm gonna make sure that I have my little papers lined up the way I like them, so that they kind of match when I lay them down, which will be like that. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue on here, and that's how you cover the tab. And cover the spine once this is in the book. Okay, you're going to go right to the score line of the page. Okay, but not into it. Just up a little bit, like so. Make sure you get a good stick. Okay, and then that way, if you don't go into the score, then your page is going to turn really nice. And then this one will glue to the other side. And that's how I covered that up. Because you know me, I like to have my tabs kind of covered up. And I put them on my other albums, I put the last one on backwards so you don't see it. So this is how I decided to do it for this particular book. And I think it worked out pretty good. Okay. Make sure our page closes nicely. There we go. All right, so our spine piece is on. Now, there will be a little spot up and down. That's okay. You still have the base covered, okay? So now our base page is in. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have 2 large pages. And one is going to go on each side. So the large pages are 6 3/4 by 8. And we're going to grab our, put that over here. We're going to grab our scoreboard. We're going to put it in our scoreboard and at the 6 3/4 inch at the top. And we're going to score at 1/2 and at 3/4. And that's going to give us a 1/4 inch of a gusset on these pages. All right. So then take your scissors or your handy dandy tab punch, like, or excuse me, tag punch, like I showed you last time. We're gonna miter the corners. And I just threw, oh boy, I'll find that later. I'm having a day today. There we go. Okay, so we'll do that. Fold and burnish so that we have our nice 1/4 inch gusset on both pieces. Okay, both pieces, and then we'll grab our book and we're going to go with the back of the page first, okay? So you should have the vertical pocket right here. This is the back of your book. And what we're going to do is just simply glue that 1/2 inch tab right directly onto the pocket, like so, okay? Pretty easy peasy. All right, so just right on top of that vertical pocket, right to the edge of your page, just like so. Okay, so now you have your large page attached. So then let's turn this over, and I'm just going to open it so that I have room to work. But you can see here's the page edge right here. Actually, we could just fold it. So here's the page edge, and we have our horizontal pocket. So we're going to add this right on top just like we did, but we need to make a little bit of alteration on this, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to lay this down here right on top, and I'm going to put it to the edge, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pencil mark where the top of that pocket is, okay? We're going to need to cut out a triangle there and make it 2 tabs. So I'm going to just miter up to the score line, okay, and then cut that little piece out. So just, you can just fold that over and then just snip that off. Okay, so now you should have 2 tabs, and that is going to glue right on top of the pocket and then right to the page, and then that way you won't compromise any of your pocket here, okay? So we're going to glue those down just as we did. on the other side, but now we have the two tabs. So one will glue to the pocket and one will glue to the page. So I hope that makes sense, okay? So you can see where it's going to go here. And I did cut the triangle a little wide and made sure that I didn't cut where the pocket's going to be. And then just go ahead and if you have any pencil mark, just erase that, okay? So now you can see that we have our full pocket. Our full pocket is still here, okay? So that's how you do that. So now what you have is your page, your page assembly now has a big page on either side, okay? So now we're going to add a short page on the inside, a little pocket page. And I have pieces for that. So the mini pocket pages require two pieces. So you have piece A and piece B, and this is in your cutting guide. So the mini pocket page, you need two of these, 6 1/4 by 5 1/8, and then part B, you need two of those, 7 1/4 by 4 3/4. So grab your scoreboard, and for pieces A, you're going to put them both in your scoreboard, and you're going to score at 1/2 and at 5/8. So that's going to give you an 1/8 inch gusset. Okay, do that to both pieces. Then you're going to take pocket B, and you're going to score. I have this upside down, but you're going to take it and score it at 1/2 inch, okay, on your 1/2 inch on your 3 sides. So 2 short, 1 long, okay, 1/2. And then if it helps you to do it this way, just turn it, just keep turning it, do it that way. So there you go. You're going to do that to both, okay? So the pocket page, we're going to go ahead and miter up all the corners. This is actually going to create the pocket on this piece. So let's cut those. All right. And then on the base page part, we don't need to really miter that. So let's go ahead and fold and burnish. Just be careful. We've got that 1/8 inch gusset we're going to want to try and maintain here. And that does make it a little harder to do, but it can be done. All right. So fold and burnish both of those. Okay. Now one is going to go on one side, one is going to go on the other side. And this one is going to go between our large page and our base page. So, it'll be a cute little fun surprise when you're looking through your album, because at first you don't see it, and then you open it up and there's a surprise. I liked it. There we go. So fold and burnish all of our pieces. Okay, there we go. All right, so what we're going to do is, let me grab the book, and I don't want to mess this up. So we're going to open our page. We're going to glue this right to here, okay? So the base pocket page is going to glue right into the middle, and what we're going to do is we're going to, on the front part where we have that horizontal pocket, we're going to have to make that wedge again, okay? So I'm going to take my page, and I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to make sure it's in the middle, okay? You should have about 7/8 of an inch from the top and the bottom, okay? Right in the middle there. So I'm going to just line that up, and again, take my pencil, and I'm going to draw a line where the pocket is, and then I'm going to cut that out. So we're going to cut that wedge, just like that. I'm going to fold those over. Don't cut into your gusset, okay? Gotta leave the gusset intact. We're just cutting the 1/2 inch tab. Oops. There we go. Cut that out. So now you have your tab, okay? And then we're going to turn this over and we're going to glue that down. And we're going to put pattern paper over the pocket and the page, so that's going to cover up the tabs here. All right, so this one's a little bit trickier because you can't really match the height of the page, so I'm just going to make sure I lay it down, make sure it matches, it doesn't cover up my pocket, and then I'm going to lay it down. All right, that'll give us this pocket page. Okay, with an 1/8 of an inch gusset, and then we have a 1/4 of an inch gusset outside, so you have a little bit of wiggle room in your pages. Okay, so then the pocket part of it, okay, so we've made our pocket, can go on either side. I put it on the inside just because I liked it that way, but you could totally put it on the outside too if you wanted to, and then have like a pocket here and then turn it and have a page here. Okay, so however you want to do it is fine. I'm going to put it on the inside because that's the way I liked it, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to do that. Put glue on our tabs. And then lay this down. Again, make sure you don't get it in your gusset. Right to the edge of the gusset. And then go ahead and press it down. Okay, so now what you have is a nice pocket here, okay? And this page right here measures 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So my idea was that I would use some of the really beautiful 4 by 6 cut-aparts and put it right directly on there. But you could also put a picture on here too. So it's perfect for a 4 by 6 picture. Okay, so that pocket is done. Then we're going to turn it, and we're going to open this page up, and we're going to do it again. So I'm going to open these up just because it'll make it easier. Now this one we don't have to cut a notch, obviously, because we're just going to lay it right on top. We just need to make sure we center it top and bottom. So we're going to add our glue like this, and then we're going to, I'm going to grab my ruler just so I can center it nice, and I'm going to lay it right on that pocket, about 7/8 of an inch, above and below. Make sure it's not in your fold. There we go. Okay, and then this one here, here's our pocket page, and all right. All right, so lay this down, and then this is done. So I'm going to turn it so I can see it easier. And again, don't go into your 1/8 inch gusset space. Line that up, press it down. Okay, so there you have it. So what you have now, if we look at it from the top, is here's our page assembly. So you have your covers here, and then you have this one big page assembly right in the middle. And each side will have a big page. Here's a smaller page, pocket, and then you have a nice page here with a pocket here, okay? And you'll have that on each side. The pockets will be different. This one will be vertical. But there you have it. So there's that. So you have a whole bunch of real estate right here. Okay, so now what we're going to do, let's go ahead and work on this front cover piece. So what we're going to need is, let me get my pieces. All right. So here we go. So the first thing you're going to want to do is put your belly band on. So your belly band, it's a wide one, is going to be 5 by 9.5, and you're going to stick it in your scoreboard, and you're going to stick it in with the 9.5 at the top, and you're going to score at 1/2 and at 9. Okay, pretty standard belly band. Move that out of the way. You don't need to miter the corners on this because it's going to be covered up. So we'll fold that and burnish it, and then we're going to just simply glue that to our inside cover, top and bottom, and that's going to be our wide belly band. And I'm adding some elements to this wide belly band. That's why it's so wide, because this is going to have a few different things on it. So let's do this and use my centering ruler so that I make sure I get it right nice in the middle. And just like that. And then I'm just going to lay this down, glue it down. Okay. There we go. All right. Now, because this was so wide, if it was a skinny belly band, I would have used pattern paper to cover the backside. But because it is so wide, I didn't want to waste the pattern paper because you're not going to see it. So what I'm doing is I'm using a piece of my brown cardstock, and this is in your cutting guide as well. And we're just going to lay that down and glue it down. So I just slid it underneath, and I'm going to run some glue down underneath. And that will secure it just fine. The belly band part will keep it in place in the middle. And then this will keep it glued down on the sides. Okay, so I'm just going to gently lift it up and run some glue back here. And glue that down. Okay. So that's why I did that. So I did want to do something under here because it is a folio and I didn't use cardstock at all, or excuse me, chipboard at all. So I wanted to make sure that we had some strength to it. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we need to do the closure on this, and I'm going to use some more of my seam binding. So this time I'm going to use my green seam binding. So I'm going to use all three colors that I was given. Aren't they beautiful? Aren't they beautiful? I love them. So I'm going to cut this in half here, and I'm going to put a piece at the top and the bottom so that we can have a closure. So I'm just going to put this down, find my middle, and a little score tape so that it'll secure my seam binding. And put that right in the middle so we'll have a nice pretty tie closure. All right, top and bottom. Okay, and then we do have to put our pattern paper down now. So because we're going to put some elements on top of this, so I've decided on that. So I'm going to put that down, glue it down, and then you know what? I'll put a little bit of score tape on top of that too, like I do the other ones. Here we go. All right, so get some glue on here. I just love the colors. Okay, so this is the one place other than the cover that we need to put pattern paper down first before we finish it up. The rest of it can be done without having to put pattern paper on the construction part of it. So, all right, get that all stuck down nicely. All right, okay, so this part will be ready. The closure is ready. So we will put that aside, and then we're going to grab our pieces for our trifold. So we have two pieces. Trifold piece A, you'll need two of these, 3.5 by 9. And trifold piece B, you will also need two of those, 4.25 by 3.25. Okay, so you're going to take your 9 by 3.25 piece, put it in your scoreboard, and we're going to score at 1/2 and 4 3/4. Okay, do that for both of them. So 1/2 and 4 3/4. Okay, and then this piece here you don't have to score at all. So that's all we have to do. This is going to be a really cute little trifold piece that will hold 3x4 pictures and also hold the cut-aparts as well. Okay. So I'm going to fold and burnish my squares like so, and then I'm going to miter my corners. And then for those of you who haven't seen my trick, I found out that my tag punch is exactly 1/2 inch. And so if I wanted to, if I didn't want to just grab my scissors, I could just go ahead and punch and miter my corners, and they would be a perfect 45-degree angle if that is what you wanted to do. So then I'm going to turn these over, and I'm going to grab one of these B pieces, and I'm just simply going to glue them together at that 1/2 inch tab, okay? So that's what's going to hold them together. So I'm going to put some glue on here, and then put my paper down. Ooh, and not get glue on my paper where I don't want it. And I'm just going to push that up and then fold it over. It's all lined up. No, it's not. Try that again. That didn't work out very good. Okay. One more time. Line that up. There we go. Oh, come on, Michelle. I know I can do this. I've done it before. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now we did it. Okay. So this is going to be a piece that will fold like this. Go ahead and just make sure it's nice and folded. And this is going to just trifold out like that. Okay. So we're going to do that to both of them. And I don't know where that mark came from. I'm a mess today. Okay. All right, so again, these are made for 3x4 pictures and the 3x4 cut-aparts. I wanted to have them incorporated because they are so pretty. All right, so again, that will fold like this, okay? And then just make sure everything's nice and burnished so it lays nice and flat. And then what we're gonna do is grab our book, and so we have our inside of our front cover, okay, right here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue these down. So one of them will open this way, and the other one's going to open the opposite direction, like that, okay? And then these will tie in the middle and keep them closed. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna turn this to the side just so I can see. We are going to have about 1/2 inch on either side, and then we'll center them. So I'm gonna use my centering ruler again, like that. I'm pretty sure, was it 1/2 inch? Maybe it's less. Let me make sure. I don't want to steer you guys wrong. I really don't. Okay, 3/8 of an inch. I was wrong. So 3/8 of an inch in from the edge. All right, and make sure that the center line is there. So 3/8 inch from the edge, and then 1/2 inch from the bottom, or from the bottom and from the top. That's where my 1/2 inch was. Okay, so you're going to have a wider space here. You could actually nudge it a little bit if you wanted to and make it a little bit more. So if we did that, about 5/8 of an inch from the bottom. So let's do that. So we're going to go 3/8 inch from the side edge, and we're going to go 5/8 inch from the top and the bottom, and that'll center it a little bit better. And then the ribbon will tie right in the middle. Okay, so 5/8 inch is right about there. Lay that down. Glue that down, burnish. There we go. And then this one will open the opposite direction. Won't be the end of the world if you put it on and it opens the same way. I just wanted it opposite because I felt like it. So you could do that too. Whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to line that up again. Right in the middle. 3/8 inch from the side. 5/8 inch from the bottom. There we go. Like that. And there we go. Okay, so we have that done. And then, like I told you, these cut-aparts are just absolutely stunning. So I picked 2 out that I wanted to put. These were actually 4x4 cut-aparts, but I loved the images, and they were like set so that I could cut an extra piece off and make them 3x4. So that's what I did. So this one says, "Happy Fall, y'all." And this one says, "I'm so glad I live in a world where there are Octobers." And I'm telling you, I love fall. I love October. Favorite, favorite, favorite. I just wish Halloween wasn't so messed up this year. It's making me very sad. Very, very sad. My favorite time of year. And I'm totally basically missing it this year, and I'm just so angry about that. All right. So there you go. So then this will hold closed by our seam binding tie right in the middle. So now we have our trifolds, which will hold several pictures, and we have our pretty bow, which is a nice decoration, and then we also have a belly band, which we're going to put a large tag in. Okay, so there's that. So then the last thing we're going to need to do is our back pocket. This is going to be a pocketed waterfall. So let's set this aside and grab our pieces for that. So we're going to have a closure with a magnet. The closure is 1.5 by 7 1/4, and we're going to take that piece and we're going to put it with the 7 1/4 at the top, and we're going to score at 1/2 and at 3/4. That's going to give us a 1/4 inch gusset on that. Okay, so then we're going to take, there's going to be a small pocket and a large pocket. The small pocket, you have 2 pieces. Piece A will be 5 by 6 1/4. Piece B will be 4 3/4 by 7 1/4. All right, so A, what we're going to do is we're going to put it in our scoreboard, and we're going to score at 1/2 and at 3/4. And then for the pocket, we're going to score it on 3 sides at 1/2. So 1 long, 2 short at 1/2, okay? And make a pocket out of that. All right, we'll set that aside. And then what we're going to do is we have our large waterfall pocket, again, 6 1/4 by 5 5/5, excuse me. The 5 5/8 at the top, we're going to score at 1/2, and we're going to score at 1/8. Okay, so the 5 5/8 at the top, we're going to score at 1/2 and at 1/8. Then we have the piece B for our large pocket. It's going to be 5 1/2 by 7 1/4, and we're going to score at 1/2 and turn it in 1/2 and then 1/2 again. So on 1 long and 2 short sides. Okay, so we'll get rid of our scoreboard. We'll create our pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is let's miter our pocket. We're going to do the large pocket first. We'll just do that first and then be done with it, and then we'll do the small pocket. So once we do that, we'll fold and burnish. Fold and burnish. So this is the pocket piece, and this is going to glue on top of this page here. So it's kind of similar to the pocket we made inside the book, except it's going to be flush. The other pocket we made had kind of a tab on it. This one is going to be flush. All right. just like that. Okay, so this is going to be actually the piece that actually adheres to the book. The pocket is going to fit right on top. Okay, so we'll just put glue on. Like that. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it sideways just so I can see. So right to the score for the 1/8 inch gusset. Line that up. Okay. And press it down. Okay. So we have that piece. So now we have a pocket. Okay, and then we have our tab that's going to attach, and then we have our 1/8 inch gusset. Okay, set that aside for a second. We're going to do the same thing for our small pocket here. We're going to miter our corners. Take my Post-it note off. Then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to create our pocket. And then we're going to fold this. This is the one with the 1/4 inch gusset. Okay. So we have that. So this pocket will set right on top of this page. Okay. So right up to the 1/4 inch gusset, it's going to set. Just like that. So let's go ahead and glue that. Like that. Turned out to be such a pretty day today that I have got my windows open. It's just beautiful outside. My house has been cooped up for so long. It's been raining here with the smoke and everything. I decided to open up the windows and get some sunshine in here. It's just nice. It was supposed to rain today, but so far it hasn't really done it. So I'm going to take advantage of the dry weather. All right. So now we have a pocket with our 1/4 inch gusset. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're basically going to attach the 1/2 inch tabs together. Okay. What that's going to do, if we can see it in a top view here, if we attach the tabs, we're going to have kind of a page with a 1/4 inch gusset on the top and then the 1/8 inch gusset on the bottom. Okay. So then that will give us a little bit more give for our pages, and then we're going to attach this whole thing to the book. And I hope that makes sense. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to stack the small pocket onto the large pocket, and we're going to glue the 1/2 inch tabs together. Okay, don't glue your gussets, glue the 1/2 inch tabs. Okay, so I'm just going to put some glue here. And I'm going to lay this, if I can grab it, right there. Okay. So make sure you don't get into your gussets. Glue the 1/2 inch tabs together. All right. Just like that. So now you should have a piece that kind of looks like this. Okay. So on the top is the small pocket with the 1/4 inch gusset, and then behind is the larger pocket with the 1/8 inch gusset. Okay. So then this whole thing will get glued to the inside of your back cover at the bottom of your book. Okay, so we're going to grab our centering ruler again and put that right in the middle, and then I'm going to grab my glue and I'm going to glue that 1/2 inch tab to the book. Right in the middle. So it'll be about 5/8 inch from either side, and glue that down. Okay. Just like that. Okay, so now you have your small pocket and you have your large pocket. Waterfall. so then the closure, we already went ahead and scored that, so we'll fold and burnish. And this, you guessed it, is going to be glued at the top. So I'm going to turn my book around and grab my ruler, line that up to the middle, put glue on my tab. And then I'm going to just put that down and glue it in the center. All right. Just like that. Okay. Then we'll grab our magnet. This is going to be kind of the tricky part here. You want to make sure that you keep the integrity of your gussets. So we have to be a little careful when we put this down. And then if you want to, you know, round corners or anything, right now is the time to do it. And actually I do. So let's grab my corner rounder here. And just do a little round here. There we go. And then put your magnet kind of in the middle there. And one real nice hint with your magnets is try not to get them too close to the edge of anything, because you really need to have your pattern paper, you know, be able to cover it. So you want enough space where it's going to. So don't get it too close. So I'm going to just make sure that my gussets are intact and they're straight up and down, and then I'm just going to lay that down like that. Okay. So there's that. So I'll just pull that apart. I'm going to put some score tape on that to help keep it there. And ladies and gentlemen, we are done. So, oh, I didn't really want to take the score tape off though. Gosh. Oh, come on. Oh, Michelle. There we go. Okay, good gravy. I got so excited that we were done that I glued it together. Pretty smart, huh? Okay, so put that down. There, now we're done. Okay, so we are done. This is our book. So now I'm gonna finish putting the papers on and stuff, but this is how it's gonna be. The bow is gonna tie in the front here with a nice pretty fluffy bow. I'm going to put some embellishments on here. When you open it up, you're going to have a nice wide belly band, and when you untie this, you're going to have a really cute trifold that goes this way and a really cute trifold that goes that way. And then we're going to have our page assembly. We're going to have a big page. We're going to have a smaller pocket page. So there's a pocket right in here, and then we have a horizontal pocket right here. And then when you turn this page assembly over, we're going to have this big page, again, another pocket page, and then a vertical pocket page this time. And then we're going to have a pocketed waterfall that opens to the bottom, and they will hold really nice 4x6 cut aparts. And then you'll have a nice big page back here for decoration. So that's my project. I hope you like it. Thanks for putting up with my craziness today. Not sure what's going on, but I had fun. So thanks for watching. As always, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I hope you have fun making this. I had a lot of fun designing it. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day. Go to Country Craft Creations. Get your paper line Hello Autumn by Cartabella, and get your Artisan cardstock, your art glitter glue, some magnets, seam binding, all the stuff, and make a folio. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's a real fun piece to make. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Have a really good day. Bye-bye.